Hello and welcome here to the series between NoPing versus Dreamers Esports in the DPC South America Division 2. We are already here in the draft. I'm aponzeus. With me here, the one, the only, the fantastic, the absolutely amazing. It is Bowie. How are you doing over there?
Hello, I'm doing pretty well. We finally have NoPing playing this Tour 3. I think a lot of people, had a lot of faith in them flowing their way back to Division 1. They were really close in Division 2. This time they have a totally new lineup. A lot of people would argue an improved lineup. When you look at the names here in NoPing, lots of names you wouldn't expect to be in Division 2. So I mean, I'm not really a person that likes to bet, but I always like checking the odds just to see the perceived opinion of certain matches. And in this one, the odds for NoPing to win are much higher. So everyone expecting them. I feel like maybe a little bit even too much. I feel like these Dreamers lineup, they actually did pretty bad in Tour 2. They were 6th place, I think, so barely got relegated.
Yeah.
But they actually changed everyone but Miggy. And a lot of people would argue everyone that's in this team is also an upgrade from their former teammates. So, this could be a wild card of a game. That said, I really like the Dreamers draft here. DK Mirana, classic. You don't really need to, it's so easy to play drafts like this. No saves on the side of NoPing, which always gets me a little scared,
Yeah, against that Mirana arrow or the Dragon Tail stun, it is so hard to play against. I'm surprised that they picked the Bat Rider here. What is the deal with that up? An 8-pick Bat Rider?
So yeah, usually when you see these unexpected or seemingly greedy heroes in the first phase, it's usually going to be 8th pick just because you can ban counters to it. But Bat Rider is really good versus DK, and DK is starting to get pretty popular as a carry. And also very common as a mid hero. Bat Rider kind of owns Dragon Knight on both lanes because he could be mid versus a mid DK or off lane versus a safe lane DK. I think that's just that alongside the fact that it's comfort for Leo style. So you kind of get this hero your mid laner is really going to do well with. And now you can last pick your off lane or your carry and they're all going to be really happy.
Yeah, gotcha. And so now looking at the bans here a little bit, nothing too surprising. I'm a little bit surprised that Grimstroke not been banned and also not been picked in the first phase. I feel like that hero is still very, very strong. But so now here the Earth Spirit ban, very clearly targeted ban towards the specialist players. And here now the next pick for Dreamers. I was surprised to see NoPing ban out the Aban themselves, but I mean it is also safe against the Bat Rider, so kind of makes sense there.
Yeah, with this 15 pick on Dreamers, I wouldn't be surprised to see that Abaddon. If they really want to go for this Dispel sort of meta, Oracle still in the pool. A lot of people are still trying to kind of theorize on whether these healing supports are going to become a thing or not. So that could maybe put Oracle back into the meta. But there you go, the Grimstroke you're talking about. Pairs really well once the Dragon Knight gets a Blink Dagger. We're still not sure if it's going to be mid or off lane, but regardless, should get a fairly quick one. And yeah, I actually like this draft quite a bit.
I mean, I'm just going to say right now, the initiation for Dreamers looks so scary. Like, once this Dragon Knight has a Blink Dagger, you're not safe anywhere on the map. A Blink Dagger, Dragon Tail, then into Inkswell, into Mirana Arrow. Like, you're looking at about like 7-8 seconds of stun, and you're gonna die in 7 to 8 seconds of stun.
Yeah. Both sides actually have a lot of like lockdown, right? The lasso into a toss or the toss into a lasso. But only the Dreamer side right now. Oh, okay.
We're seeing a Dazzle here. You're talking about the healing supports here? The good old Dazzle making its appearance. I love seeing heroes like those crop up again. I mean, that's a way of dealing with that initiation. Just put Shallow Grave on them. You also have now the heal amplification for it while they Shallow Graved. So,
Yeah, I actually am all about these new supports going into the meta. I'm not a big fan of Dazzle here because, as you were saying, usually I think that Dazzle like any of these supports that rely on saves, they're really bad against Dreamstroke because the bug has a lot of cast range,
Yeah.
and to actually get rid of the bug, you have to attack. All of these supports have no attack speed, or you need like a Manta, right? Scepter doesn't really cut it because it takes so long for you to get back. So, not that big of a fan, but the lane is pretty good. I think Dazzle with that slow just allows you to zone the DK. That's something that either the DK or the Mirana can't really trade with the Dazzle. So in that regard, I really like it. I think they're giving this Jug a very powerful lane, and that's a kind of a snowball hero. But I kind of worried for the Dazzle impact into the mid game, in case NoPing doesn't really like crush the early game and just ends this in 20 minutes.
Yeah, what I currently very much see from NoPing is wherever this Dragon Knight goes, he's gonna have a bad time. Because as you just mentioned, like the Dazzle Poison Touch and then Juggernaut coming with Spin, like they might just walk him down to death over and over again. But at the same time, like all of this is there, but are you addressing this like support duo, the Mirana Arrow and the Grimstroke? Not really, I feel like. Like there is already the Soulbind which can control the Juggernaut quite a bit, even with Spin. So I'm kind of with you there. I feel like NoPing currently just countered the DK, but nothing else.
And even that, I think this Void Spirit is very likely going to be an offlaner here, and they're going to mid lane this DK, because the Void Spirit is a way for you to, the Mirana already has a way out of the spin and out of the Poison Touch. Void Spirit with his W, Dissimulate, also can handle that. So
Yeah.
I actually like this Void Spirit. It's not really a very conventional offlaner. They're really trying to overplay the flex card here, but I think it would make sense to just lane the Void Spirit there.
Yeah. So now for NoPing, what do you feel like they need in form of a mid or off laner to bring their draft together?
I think they like a little bit of siege, so even a Death Prophet in the off lane alongside a Tiny doesn't strike me as a bad idea. If they don't go that route, Leshrac off lane used to be pretty popular. You could even lane the Batrider in the off lane and actually get a mid Leshrac. It would be very potent versus this DK, but they kind of have to wait, right? I think they have to pick a very flexy hero for NoPing because they don't have overall last pick. They don't know what's the carry that they're going to be laning against on Dreamers, and then they can decide, if they'll keep the Batrider in the mid lane or if they're going to flex it. That's usually the problem with not having last pick. You just kind of have to get this overall fits everything sort of pick.
Yeah. Now we're gonna ban out the Night Stalker. I like that ban. I feel like Night Stalker would have been very good just providing that vision for the Batrider to initiate. And now Ember Spirit. Okay. Yeah, that's a very like fits all kind of hero. Like he doesn't really do the siege damage that you were talking about, but other than that, like he offers you some split push, he offers you some good damage, some good team fight, and just pretty good all around.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly was not expecting Ember. I think he does a lot of things, so I agree with you in that regard. But I also feel like the pick itself doesn't flex. You're pretty much just saying this Ember's gonna be mid and the Batrider's gonna be offlane. So, and also I feel like there's a lot of he can definitely die once the DK gets blink into arrow, blink into with the Inkswell. So I feel like NoPing, they're relying a lot of comfort here rather than just picking what they think it's like what is conceptually the best thing, which a lot of times it works for teams, but can also be a problem. So they go for this Void. No, against Dazzle, always goes both ways. If you can chrono the Dazzle, it doesn't counter you. If you don't chrono the Dazzle, Grave can be like really powerful and strong versus Void. They don't also have. Oh, that's Cam's Ember. Okay, all right.
And it's gonna be
like
Tiny mid.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's actually a Kim special. He used to run this a lot.
Okay,
He
check it.
always plays it at least once. He's really good at it, so I don't mind this. This is interesting. Very over the top draft, right? Dazzle, support, Ember, and Tiny Mid. So they're definitely going all out here. If they win, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, we have to ban Ember versus NoPing now." But if they lose, it always feels a little bit bad. But I like the inventiveness. I'm all for this sort of stuff, so very excited. On Dreamers, I think this Faceless Void, is a hero that actually scales really well versus Jug later on.
Yeah.
You do have the late game. But in the mid game, I feel like they might struggle with damage. There's not a lot of like direct damage in Chrono. This hero also relies on being ahead, or else if you don't have damage in Chrono, the team fights kind of look flat. So we'll see. I kind of favor NoPing here, just because it feels like they have comfort, and you could argue the names on that team are a little bit higher up than Dreamers.
While I agree there, I kind of like Dreamers Esports a little bit more. Not gonna lie, I feel like the ease of execution is on their side, and I feel like it even with some damage issues that I completely agree with you. I feel like both Grimstroke and Mirana not really the highest damage output without like in the early mid game, I should say, without really any items. But I think like this Faceless Void, like it's a Faceless Void, and I don't really see how he is going to die beyond a certain, like beyond 30 minutes. I don't really see how they're going to kill him.
Yeah, it definitely is a problem. I think the tiny damage, he flattens out, especially after the recent changes. He is definitely more of a late game right clicker than he's a late game magic damage dealer. But I think what they have to deal with him is the displacement abilities, right? Lasso and Toss can really just put this Void out of position, and there's no saves on the side of Dreamers at all. So I wonder if he's gonna try and go for some sort of Lincoln Sphere. Whatever the build he actually decides this game, it's probably not gonna be the highest DPS build possible, because he has to choose between either Status Resistance on the Sanjin Yasha or Lincolns. Both of these not really the highest in DPS, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, also, just wanted to make a quickly note of that. You're talking about the save supports. Dazzle already starting with a headdress. So I heard some people talk about that, like now with the salve change, how do you make up for that? And some people are experimenting with going headdress as the position 5, such as that flat health regen to your position 1 during the laning phase. We'll see how that's gonna work out here, especially with the Dazzle, where the Shallow Grave gives you that heal amp per 10% missing, which can be quite a bit. Like once you have a few points in that actually gets quite a big number there if they're at like 20% HP. So
no, yeah, it's very impactful, especially once you reach level 20, which a lot of times you're not gonna see just because Dazzle, he's a 5.
oh,
But,
yeah.
yeah, that heal alongside the heal amplification, alongside, if this Dazzle ever decides to go for an item that is kinda dead, but Holy Lock is still pretty good. Amplifying the healing by 30%, you would have like 40 total percent, so that 2050 becomes like 375, right? That's a lot of guaranteed heal on top of everything else you can throw on the
Yeah. For sure. Very excited to see how that's going to all work out here, as we are now here. Game number 1 between NoPing versus Dreamers. Let's go. 5-man smoke already. Dreamers, they say we run it down mid. Oh no, I've seen this in my pubs before.
Yeah, let's see what happens. So at the end of the day, we actually didn't talk about this. It will be the offlane DK. They don't actually put the Void Spirit in that lane. So that kind of gets me scared a bit. The DK usually can just get out of many situations by using Dragon Tail, but Juggernaut is not one of those. So I wonder, yeah, he does have the boost of speed queued up. Wait, no, that's actually the Juggernaut. Dragonite doesn't have anything queued up. It's just a weird lane. I kind of fear for Lissex. I hope it works out for him, but it definitely feels a lane where you can die like 3 times in 5 minutes very easily if you misplay.
Now they are waiting to spring a trap here around this top bounty rune, but right now NoPing are not falling for it. Melancholy. Melancholy is also Mandy, which we sometimes might refer to one of the two, just so people are aware. Melancholy.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a very cool name.
SA just does the most rebrandings out of any region. Like if you look at some of these players, they have like 4 different names in 3 years. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, can you just actually stick with one, please? Like Kim used to be Moose. I think a lot of people get thrown out by that as well. So Moose used to play for the old Thunder Predator that became, that did rebrand a couple of times, but now he's playing for NoPing. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. I expect this mid lane to be a tiny wash, honestly. Just have a lot of damage. I don't think much is going to come out of that besides maybe a Murana rotation. That's probably the hero that can really change things up.
And so we have this Ember Spirit support. We said Kim Moose likes to really run that. What's the game plan in lane, and what's the game plan for that hero in that role as once the mid game starts?
I mean, this is just a. Well, I'll be blunt. It's just a really bad support in the first levels, but a really good support once you get to like level 7, level 8. Chains is just an amazing ability, and a problem that a lot of the mid Embers face is that, all of his abilities are amazing. Flame Guard is good for farming, Slide of Fist is good for landing the chains, but when you're playing the support Ember, you can just max chains because you're not gonna farm, and you don't really need the range on chains that much. So it just allows you to get that ability very early on, and it's really good to set up, toss backs, really good to set up any abilities pretty much. So he's kind of a really good ganker. He's mobile. He can refill. He can go bottle and refill region, so he is always on the map. He just does a lot of nifty things. But in lane, I wouldn't say he's very powerful, especially with a bat. Maybe level 3, they can get a good power spike. But they're also against this Void, this time dilation, right? I don't think this lane is really powerful early on. Unfortunately, Louis is already taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, nice chains there to keep Cookahawk in place. What do you expect the first blood to happen? Is it going to be up top here, or is it going to be bottom? DK Murana.
It's a side lane for sure. I definitely don't expect this to happen mid. If I had to bet, probably top, actually.
Okay.
I think this Grimstroke Void lane is probably the strongest lane right now.
For sure, like that time dilation is such a good spell against both of these heroes. It's really tough for both of them if they can't use their spell. There's a time dilation.
You sprinkle an ink spell on top of that, and then it is a recipe for a first blood, I would say.
Oh, although they are going to try to turn this onto Chan now. He has a pretty big stick there now. The ink spell coming out. One more right click is not going to be enough, and Chan will survive.
Right, doesn't have bash, so unfortunate. Unfortunately, I really feel like a different player would have killed Time Lock if you really feel like you can actually get this kill. So, unfortunate, because he would have probably got a bash in between the spell duration. But playing a little bit safe there.
Yeah. So far, still no first blood to be spilled. As in the bottom lane, the Juggernaut is doing very, very well. But so is the DK. Like, DK is getting his farm. And I feel like that's pretty good for the DK lane. I feel like oh, actually, they might go on him right now. Is this going to be first blood? There's going to be the spin. The slow onto the DK is just so much damage, but they're not gonna finish the kill off.
Yeah, that's the sort of lane where Lissex, he has to be like 70% HP plus at all times. The reason he didn't die there is that he was literally full HP when NoPing approached, but now he has to be very careful because in 10 seconds Blade Fury is up and his HP isn't regening at the speed he needs to.
Yeah.
That's when he starts getting zoned out, starts losing in experience and gold. Top lane though, I think that...
Ooh, just didn't respect the chains there, and with the Firefly over the top, that's enough damage to take down the Faceless Void. That's a big kill, especially since Lewis was kind of struggling in terms of last hits, but now lane in his favor and first blood gold for him.
That's a huge kill, actually. That's a lane that I think is supposed to walk on the floor with no against NoPing.
Yeah.
Oof.
As
Okay,
now
they're
they're
gonna
coming
try go
back
again.
immediately good. Oh, he
Ooh.
dodged the Inkswell stun.
Beautiful.
Oh, that. Oh, it's gonna get bashed, but still be fine. And at the same time, Lewis just walks down the Grimstroke. This is really good for NoPing. There might be some like you're not really used to playing against an Ember Spirit support, I would assume. But yeah, and the comfortability for NoPing. Okay, Kim just denies himself. But that does mean they did see that. Lewis, nice flame break to keep himself safe from the Inkswell.
Yeah, I think what really screams that they don't play a lot against this Ember a lot is that the Dreamstroke went for another point of Inkswell instead of Phantom's Embrace. I think the way for them to get that kill is actually having the silence, so you know he can't really dodge the anything there.
Yeah, and Batrider actually went for a bottle. It's not gonna get the refill as mid laner was already screaming for a refill. You know, core players, and. If not, now the 6-minute rune will be top. It is going to be an arcane rune and a nice change there onto both of them. Inkswell, however, coming out, and Kim. Uh-oh, it's going to get turned around upon. That's going to be the Resonant Pulse. Another toss-up. The jump forward here. Kim is going to get arrowed and is going to fall. However, Leostyle still fighting here. He's going to have an avalanche, but there's going to be the Aether Remnant with the silence over the top. Now there's going to be the avalanche and another silence onto him. But he will be able to get away. At the same time, though, in the top lane, Faceless Void died again.
That is an absolute disaster. Faceless Void feeding first blood. Mid though.
Leostyle, he gets a kill! 2 supports rotated. You lost your safe laner for it, and the mid laner still gets a kill onto the Mirana. Oh, that's a pretty big disaster. And at the same time, down bottom, it's just kills everywhere. NoPing, turning up the heat and just letting the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah, the lanes where they were supposed to win, they are winning, like bottom. And the lanes they're not supposed to win, they're also winning. Top lane Cockahoo though might maybe kill Lewis. He has lasso though, so I hope they don't get baited here.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't back off there, you might die. Because the lasso with the Firefly is just so much damage. Just now, though, Miggy potentially looking for a rotation. Decides better of it. Okay. Now.
And that's really what I feared, because this is a game. Void is not a hero that can afford playing from behind when you don't have damage inside Chrono, right? When you don't have a Snapfire, a hero, because this hero doesn't farm really fast until he has Madness and Maelstrom. So the way you usually can get gold is using Chronosphere, but man, these Chronospheres are going to be hard to actually get. They really have to outplay NoPing moving forward to still give this guy a chance.
Now they are going to find Dunha here, who tried to contest for the rune. But I also feel like with the fact that both side lanes going so well for NoPing, it also means like any rotation from Miggy that isn't successful is like even worse, because Leostyle is not forced to rotate. Like he can literally just farm because both of his side lanes are already doing well. So he can just like accelerate from the mid lane himself. And yeah, all of this now. Oh, that's gonna be the rotation. They're looking here for Lewis. That's gonna be the Chronosphere, but Inkswell doesn't connect. That's gonna be the Aether Remnant, and it's gonna be a kill onto the Batrider. Heavy commitment there, but they get the kill, and Miggy is gonna get that gold for it.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it would be better if they could kill the Batrider without the Chrono. But you just get the wins that show up to you. That's true. And about Leostyle, I totally agree. And speaking of him, he's very close to like a 10-minute Blink Dagger right now. Super scary stuff.
And Juggernaut just pushed into tier 1 mid and now is top. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just grouping up for the 10-minute catapult. He knows there's no chrono, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
they can group as a team and take that tower. Just I love this. Oh, mid lane.
Yeah, Leocel dodged the Aether Remnant, and without that connecting, there's no way. Oh, that's actually gonna be the chains now. But Avalanche still on cooldown for a little bit. If that Avalanche was off cooldown, he would have 100% died.
Look at Mendy. He's actually just taking the tower by himself. They didn't even have to wait for the catapult.
Oh.
I love this. That's definitely not a South American sort of move, you know? This is something you expect out of European players. But I love it. I think, at least in South America, everyone's just way too obsessed with farm and how many CS a carry gets in a certain time of the game. Instead of, like, you know, thinking of defense of the Ancients. I love that move from Mendy. Just perfectly executed. Still doing very well in farm, right? He has top net worth right now.
As Lewis, he's trying to fly away, but didn't have Firefly up for another second there, and he's going to die. But now, because they already took down that top tower, it opens up to be more aggressive onto this mid tower with the catapult wave, while also defending the bottom tower. Like right now, it's just like such a huge advantage for NoPing. And
yeah, in terms of momentum, I think they're definitely looking really, really good. They will try and force this tower, but we already see a TP here. There's Lasso on this Batrider. But with only 2 heroes, they have to be very careful here on the side of Dreamers.
as in the mid lane, they're gonna find the Grimstroke. He gets a Soulbind out, trying to turn this around onto the Ember, but not enough damage. I feel like that's already a little bit of damage issues maybe starting to show. Like, Ember also a hero, like, once he has, like, more levels, he will get Flame Guard, which, like, it will not absorb much because it won't be high level, but, like, any small mitigation... Oh, bottom Lewis just gets the kill onto the DK. And that happens while they're also losing their mid tower. Uh-oh, they're gonna find the Mirana here as well. As Mickey jumps in, gets the Inkswell onto the Dazzle, but that's not the hero you want to go on. There's gonna be the Chronosphere onto the Juggernaut, but Dunha, he has the Shallow Grave. That's gonna be the Silence onto this Jug, but they're now gonna turn this around onto Mickey here. Melancholy goes for the Omni Slash, finishes off Mickey. And Chronosphere used, but nothing gained for NoPing there. They're even looking for Dreamers, I'm sorry. A lot gained for NoPing, as they're just diving for more kills there. Not even finished. There's the South American spirit. We gotta go for the kills. We're not gonna go for the tier 1.
Yeah, that was... I'm not sure I can sugarcoat that. That was a terrible chrono. Because even if he was close enough to killing the Jug, there was Grave on the Dazzle, as you pointed out. So even the target selection, in my opinion, wasn't great. It's good that he doesn't die, but they still lose the tower. They were not able to take the bottom one. It's just they're relying on this DK getting Blink, which, by the way, he's kind of close because he skipped a lot of these intermediary items. That's probably the next power spike Dreamers can kind of strive for. Until then, I don't think they can make any moves.
Kim once again walked outside of the Inkswell and didn't get caught there. They have no detection. So the Moonlight Shadow is invincibility for now. But they get another kill. Oh, Dreamers, they really need to, like this Blink Dagger needs to be put in overtime.
Oh yeah. He needs pretty much like one wave, so that's good. The problem is 4k gold advantage. We were talking about damage issues. You know, you put that alongside a Dazzle having Grave. It just makes life really hard, right? Because now you can't initiate anyone but the Dazzle, or else that target's gonna get graved.
And, yeah, that's just the 2 supports taking out the Mirana. At the same time, Leostyle finds another support here. And they're gonna get Dead Chains onto the Void Spirit, like all of that, forcing him back. And I mean, this Ember Spirit is 1 level behind the Void Spirit. And that's not good. Like that Ember Spirit is very, very high level.
Wait, that Ember was in mid? Is that what you're saying? That Ember is a position 4 hero?
He's the same lane as this off-lane DK who was able to buy his Blink Dagger, but I'm pretty sure he's just dead here. Oh, he's gonna form the Dragon form. And that's going to be the first stun into the Dragon Tail. Ember Spirit is going to die. But again, this is a position for Ember. I guess he gave quite a bit of money, so that was good. That was good.
Now that's still a lot of space. That's the Dragon Form being used defensively, so unlikely that they'll have it for an aggressive move. They do have Blink now though, but do they have a smoke? They do. I would love to see them trying to kill Jug. That would be like the ideal target. But as you can see, Dui now is just following Mandy wherever he goes, always in like a pretty short range of that carry hero.
And he actually maxed out Poison Touch.
Yeah, that's how free he thinks this game is right now.
Yeah, that's really... Like, also the cooldown going that low, and then once you get your shard, you're gonna provide even more lockdown. Like, actual lockdown with the hex on the shard.
Bottom lane, they do position for this tower, which I like. If you're not gonna go for an aggressive smoke, that's probably the best play that you can do. Should be a free tower for them. I don't think NoPing is gonna waste time defending this. The problem is they're just not farming fast enough. Already a 5k goal lead. This Faceless Void doesn't have Maelstrom. That's why he's not with the team right now. And he could even be in trouble here. It has to be... I'm surprised he's just showing like this with everyone away from him.
Yeah, and they're looking now for this bottom tier 1 tower. They really need to open up the map for themselves. But they're so scared because they know there could just be heroes behind them, which is the case. Oh, the arrow gives vision onto this Ember, and they will find the kill onto Kim there. But the tower still got denied by Lewis, and like, yes, they finally opened up the map, but so much was used. Oh, at the same time, Lithix gets gone on, and in the mid lane, they're gonna go on to Kuka. Kuka is gonna be able to survive thanks to the assistance of Mickey there, but the Dragon Knight, he died to the lasso. And they're trying to go on to him as Firefly has worn out, but where is your damage? The arrow direct clicks, is it gonna be enough? Lewis solo will fall. The supports are making it happen there.
Yeah, definitely a little bit unnecessary for the bat trader to be there after the kill, but yeah, that's good for Dreamers. They at least sniped that one. The Void doesn't die in the mid lane. I think that was also a big one. With this Maelstrom in level 12, that's probably when I would like to see Kukahook actually grouping up. It's been a while since he used Chrono, and they just really need to start putting some pressure onto NoPing because they are accelerating at an absurd rate right now.
Yep. Now, yeah, they're all... I assume they're just waiting now for the Ancient stack, or they're just gonna go as 4. Yeah, they're gonna go as 4. The 4-man gang squad, like we talked about during the draft, they have a lot of stuns with that. Can they find the initiation? Oh, the smoke breaks. Oh, and he's being spotted and rooted up. There's no initiation. Oh, the Yule Scepter finds the Ember Spirit. And they're gonna get at least that kill, but it is always just Ember that they find.
Yeah, Kim's just eating a lot of those smokes. Usually, you know, the goal of the position 5, but as a Dazzle, you don't want to be doing that too much. So it makes a lot of sense. They just want to make sure Dazzle's always alive, always ready to combat the Chrono. Speaking of it, I think it's going to be used right now on Lewis.
It's going to be bottom with the arrow in it, and that's going to be an easy kill there for the Faceless Void. So kills are happening. The map is getting opened up here, and it is still a Faceless Void. If he's allowed to farm, he's gonna get very, very scary. And he is number 2 in net worth. Like, the Juggernaut, not really that far ahead of him.
Yeah, that kill definitely helps. And I think as they get more mobility items on the side of Dreamers, then you open up the... Oh,
They're gonna find the Ember Spirit again. However, Grimstroke is gonna get turned around upon. And in the end, it will just be as... support for support. Actually, initiation now by the DK into the Aether Remnant. Do they have anything further? No, the toss to save. So many ways of saving this Juggernaut.
Yeah, it's already really hard to kill, and they also have that toss back. Really nicely done. But yeah, I mean, I think this is looking bright for Dreamers. It was looking really scary. It felt like a game that maybe Dreamers could win in 20 minutes. But with some of these slight misplays from them and some of these really good chronos from Kukahook, they are holding up.
Now, they know there's no Chronosphere up, and Radiant are going to go into the Roshan pit, securing themselves some Aegis. Is Dire gonna sniff this out is gonna be the question here, and it doesn't look like it at the moment. Although
They have no chrono, so even if they knew, I don't think that it's possible. Oh, but they're actually overtaking this.
Yeah, they're getting out of... Oh, they're actually chrono. They're smoking and just Juggernaut bet is gonna be back. And now there's gonna be the scan.
Yeah,
I guess they just
like...
smoke for security so that they know if the enemy is approaching. Yeah, Kim is standing exactly in position to break any smokes. And that's going to be Aegis into the hands of Mandy, aka Melancholy.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty hype. I'm actually surprised that they even give it to him. Maybe the Tiny could have been a better target, because this Jug is really hard to be taken down with the spin and the healing ward. But he's the one that's going to be hitting, sieging. Probably not high ground though, it's still the first Aegis. But, you know, better safe than sorry.
For sure. Now, we do see that the game has slowed down quite a bit. Ever since I feel like Dreamers, they got their Blink Dagger and they got some initiations going. The two supports are spotted under a ward here, however, and there's gonna be the TPs coming in. Lewis jump forward, the Avalanche connects onto both of them. That's both supports there. It's Dark Demon, yep, bye.
Yeah, usually when NoPing was playing, you know, the top side of the map that much, they probably expected no wards to be here, but that was an old one that was kind of about to expire. So they never dewarded. If you want to camp a spot close to cliff, you just better make sure that it's dewarded. They didn't actually did have sentries on them, so unfortunate. And time for a tier 2 siege. I don't think Dreamers should really do anything about this, especially if that Aegis on Jug. You have to give up these tier 2 towers, wait for the Aegis.
Yeah, there's so many ways of saving this Jug, the first life and the second life. We have now not even maxed out Shallow Grave, just 3 points in it, but already 3 points is so good.
Yeah, once they buff the cast range on Dazzle, I mean, they buffed everything about Shallow Grave pretty much. The cast range and the cooldown got like massive buffs. This hero, now with this meta where healing matters more in lane, I think is looking pretty good. We didn't really see any clutch Graves yet, but I'm pretty sure we're getting to that point where the Void will need to chrono cores, and it's very hard to actually get Dazzle when the enemy team is playing from ahead, because he has all of these extra items. He's very tanky as well. Let's see what happens now.
There's gonna be a 4-man smoke looking to defend this tier 2. An unusual move, which due to it being pretty unusual, could still work out. I don't think Radiant is really going to be expecting a fight here, but they are in position in case anything is going to happen. There's gonna be the chains onto both of them. Moonlight Shadow coming out. They have the dust going onto Grimstroke Soulbind coming out. Now they're coming in from the backline. They're finding the Ember Spirit first, and the arrow connects onto the Bad Rider, but it's just not enough damage here, as they're gonna find the Lasso and the Shallow Grave. They're not even getting the Bad Rider there. There still is a Chronosphere up, but for what avail? That's gonna be the Chronosphere now. There's the avail. We're gonna get at least 1 kill and the jump out there. But you paid. Like, you used Chronosphere and you got 1 support kill.
Yeah, that was just a misplay from the Void. He didn't expect the shard to be ready on the Dazzle, and he jumped in with no BKB, so the Q actually hacks him. And then he was like, alright, I guess I'll not gonna chrono, just BKB. But then the Grave comes out, all of his allies were dead. Oh, there you go again.
They're gonna jump here straight onto the Dazzle. And Dazzle is going to fall, so now no more Shallow Grave. Nice avalanche there. Jump forward. They have the time dilation on this Juggernaut. He might die twice here. The first life gonna be dead, but now the supports are rotating in here. Dissimulate coming in, and there's gonna be another stun into the silence. The toss not gonna be there, and they find the kill here, and they're gonna clean this up. They're gonna find the Bad Rider as well, and the Tiny. A huge amount of gold coming into the pockets of the Dire here.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, they were there a little bit too much, and then once Bendy was out of position, they did the right, the very hard choice of deciding if they want to leave him behind or defend him, and it just didn't pay out at all. They're gonna try and force this mid tower here. this is really good for Dreamers, actually. This
Yeah.
Void is now looking very strong with the Maelstrom BKB. Once the Sky is up and the heals from the Dazzle and the Healing Ward matter a little bit less, it starts to get scary for NoPing. We did talk about how the late game, once this Void is farmed, looks very grim for NoPing.
Yeah, as Kim... Oh, he actually has a Blink Dagger on this Ember Spirit. Finds the chains under the Void, but Void's still a tough kill to get. And... So, also, I was about to mention, like, Grimstroke is looking for a straight Aghanim Scepter. So, an illusion of this Juggernaut, who is getting very, very farmed, could be very effective.
Yeah, I'm surprised, because if you actually check the net worth right now, not only he's a 5, but he is way down. Even
Oh
though
yeah,
Shane
yeah.
can't hide so
It's
much.
gonna be a while. And
He's a dreamer, right?
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah. They didn't get a Philostone. With a Philostone, I feel like you can go for that much more reliably. But neither team got the Philostone, so no additional free gold coming into the game.
Balanced, as it should be. That's gonna be the last tier 2 tower, so even after the death, they do know that they're still pretty strong. But now Chrono is up. I would love to see Dreamers going for a play right now, because even if they go for a play right now, the Roshan is not gonna respawn for like 2.5 minutes maybe. It will guarantee that Chrono is up once it spawns. I think a big mistake I see in Div 2 is teams actually going for plays like 30 seconds or 1 minute before the possible Rosh spawner, respawn timer, and then you kind of get your ankles broken just because the enemy just walks into Rosh because you get unlucky with the spawn. But looks like they're gonna force tier 2. That's fine.
I mean, everybody from Dreamers is in the area. We have level 3 Chronosphere, getting close to level 20 as well for this Faceless Void. And he is actually the highest level in the game. So, like, this 4,000 net worth lead, we had about a 4,000 net worth lead at 12 minutes. We are at the 4,000 net worth lead once again at 26 minutes, which puts Dreamers in a much better position, and it looks like they're just gonna get this tier 2 here.
Yeah, that's very good for them. Free tier 2 tower, which means they can also claim an outpost for them. They're not gonna be choked and experienced. In terms of vision, we actually see a lot of good vision being placed by them. The big jungle is dominated. They also have a little bit of vision in the mid lane. And it's good that they take this tower now, because you don't want to be making this move once Rosh is possibly open. Now they collapse into their own big jungle, start rewarding the vision from NoPing so they can contest Rosh once it spawns. So overall, I think solid moves from Dreamers. Kinda weird laning stage from them, but they are recovering pretty nicely.
Yeah. And we do have now a gem coming up on the side of NoPing. So the invisibility from the Moonlight Shadow, not gonna be nearly as effective. However, a gem is always a little bit of a gamble if you get caught out. And it is on the Bat Rider. Like a hero, I feel like that sometimes want to be pushing a little bit on the greedy lanes where they might get caught out. So gotta be careful now as Lewis a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, and he does have a fair amount of deaths, so definitely a little bit scary, as you pointed out. But if, as long as he plays close to the Dazzle, I'm sure Dunyao is going to be ready to press W on him. Not sure if you saw the... Do you use Reddit a lot? Like the Dota 2 subreddit?
Yeah.
Did you see there was like a meme for Dazzle players where like I played the game by cells for my cores the whole time, and I mispressed W once, and they all tell me to report.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
the
here we
jump
go.
in here. Immediately, the lasso onto the Faceless Void, who did get this BKB out, but now jumps there. What a Chronosphere onto the Dazzle and the Juggernaut with the arrow follow-up. This is a ton of damage into that Jug. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. And another jump forward here by the Faceless Void. They're looking for more. They're gonna get this gem, and a beautiful fight there for Dreamers. And all you do as Dazzle is get caught in wrong Chronosphere, and everybody tells you they'll report you because, ooh, that was the Chronosphere.
That was some foreshadowing for sure. And I mean, I think you know, we were talking about doing now maybe feeling a little bit over like bold with some of his skill choices, not really maxing Grave. I feel like in hindsight, if you're playing against this Void, a Blink Dagger is probably more value because you can actually be totally out of range to show up in Grave, whoever gets there. He shouldn't be close to the Void. Yeah, they find the timing
get
as well.
the whole team wipe here.
Oh, yikes. And that's also Roche, because they got lucky with the respawn timer. That is not good for NoPing. The draft that they have is very momentum-based. It feels like all of it is being stripped away.
Yeah, this is, I mean, Dreamers just completely turned this fight around with like an absolutely insane Chronosphere. And they also see that there is a DD in the bottom and they already... Wait, where's the bottle? Oh, they gave the bottle back to the Void Spade. I thought they gave the bottle to the Faceless Void so he could bottle it up, but I guess not. And now the gem in the hands of Dreamers, and an Aegis on the Faceless Void. He also got his shard. Now he's #1 in net worth. He's going into the Mjolnir. This is the point where I feel like now, how do you kill this Faceless Void? If he gets his BKB off, I don't see how they kill him.
It's really hard. It's actually, I would say it's actually impossible because I don't see them having like the only duration stun that goes for BKB is Lasso. I don't think they have enough damage in Lasso to kill him. So yeah, it's just a pretty rough scenario here. It's one of those games where it's on Dreamers to kind of make mistakes for NoPing to come back. We'll see what happens because it felt like NoPing was pretty far ahead and still they gave a bit of advantage back to Dreamers. So you can, you know, Karma and Entropy always works like that. It goes both ways. So let's see how they will play with the advantage now. How they'll control the triangle, when or if they will try to go high ground. All of these things can always swing back again with Dota 2.
Now, the two lanes, mid and bottom here, are very much pushed in favor of NoPing right now. And they're actually going to get half of this tier 3 tower. Which I feel like, given that they're under disadvantage in terms of ages right now, it's very good for them. But now the Moonlight Shadow coming out here from Dreamers, they want to choke NoPing out of this map. Oh.
They know. They have vision with that sentry there.
Yep, this now, all into the trees we go.
Okay. In terms of Aegis duration here, it's still 3 minutes, so the move is probably just forcing this tier 2 mid, honestly. In terms of actually sieging, both teams are pretty bad at it, so I don't expect Dreamers to try and go high ground unless they get another team wipe, like we saw. But now they will definitely choke NoPing in terms of net worth, and this will like make things even harder for NoPing in the next minutes.
Yeah. Now, I mean, this Dazzle keeps on pushing into this bottom lane. I mean, like, both Poison Touch and Shadow Wave and the Bad Juju are, like, pretty good wave clear spells. So, the hero actually doesn't really have any problems clearing those waves. And it's giving him some money.
That's why I mean, for a while now, I feel like Dazzle is more of a core hero than a support hero, even though he has Brave. But yeah, we'll see. I really feel like he needs to farm a Blink Dagger. He's actually going this Greaves/Mech. I'm not a big fan. I feel like if he gets Blink, he can solo carry this game.
And on the other side, we have Mirana, who has finished the Wraith Pact. So, oop, there it is. It approaches menacingly. And it is bigger now.
More menacing.
They are gonna start. You should start hitting it. Yeah, that's 100 gold for you. And the TP out by the Faceless Void. The lasso is still going to be there in time, but is that going to be good here?
Orb.
Yeah, with the Lotus Orb, that was a huge bait there. They're gonna get the kill. They're also gonna get the kill onto the Dazzle. And Miki finds Leo style here as well. The BKB was already used. And that's gonna be the Dragon Tail into the Mirana arrow. That's gonna be another kill at the same time though. Faceless Void, it's gonna go in once again, gets the bash. Not a bash? No. He's all alone here, but...
beautiful.
Yeah.
intentionally TP'd on the outpost, and like he was joining lane, but the Mirana was like literally 10 range away from him, and he just uses Lotus Orb. Oh, that was. I'm actually so impressed by Dreamers here. That was so good.
Yeah. And now, I mean, this phase is what he still has an Aegis for another minute, so he is not scared of anything, and he's looking to take a set of racks. Not even more.
You don't want to buy back here. It's only 30 seconds of Aegis anyways. You probably just wait for the Aegis to wear off. But that's maybe 1.5 lanes of barracks going down.
And it's just protected by the Aether Remnant. Now, that's gonna be the creep wave. Okay, they're gonna back off. They're gonna play it safe. And I mean, now that the Bat Rider is here again, Last is gonna be up shortly, and it is scary. And Aegis has run out now. But now a lane advantage for the Dire, and Radiant really getting outplayed during the second portion of this game now, on multiple fronts.
Yeah. There was definitely one or two plays that were hurt.
Don't go for this lasso again. We've seen this before. It didn't work out. They are gonna see the Firefly here now, so they know that they're right there. Yeah, they're gonna see the outpost being taken as well. So both teams completely aware of where the other ones are.
It's just a much better position for Dreamers to be, because they can cut mid and top, and the only lane that they can actually cut for NoPing is bottom. And even still, they cannot force Dreamers to go back to their base because the lanes are just not pushed enough for that to happen. There's just a total position advantage for Dreamers at the moment.
Yeah, and there's also a siege creep wave coming now for the side of Dreamers, also for both sides, since the siege creep spawn at the same time, but pretty big wave there, and with that, they're most likely gonna look to go high ground again. Let's click on the Lotus Orb. That Lotus Orb is putting in so much work.
Alright, Dazzle going back to base. Please buy Blink. He's so close.
50 gold away. That's going to be the tier 3 down. Melancholy tried to take out this Wraith pack, but he has to back up. It's so scary against the Chronosphere and the stuns. As now Wraith pact has expired. If you want to go in, now would be the time. But I mean, you're just slowly but surely losing your racks here. How do you initiate against this? That's gonna be the jump. Oh, Leostal got found here, and the BKB used by the Faceless Void. Leostal, will actually survive. It's now the Chronosphere connects onto both the Juggernaut and the Dazzle. They're gonna take out the Jug and the Dazzle directly afterwards. They're all dead. You're right, LD, and they're gonna call GG. Ooh. I mean, the Faceless Void pick looks really good if you get Chronospheres like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think both Chronos that looked really good all had the same thing in common. They kind of found someone out of position and then lured the Dazzle for then the Void to jump. So they were always nice.
Hello? Is that? Apparently some issues there, but right now we'll have Dreamers Esports takes game number 1 versus NoPing. We will have game number 2 coming up shortly. We'll see, can NoPing adjust to what Dreamers has shown here. A very strong showing so far, and we will see how it's gonna go in game number 2 after a short break.